Okay, so today my guest is a good friend and Vedic astrologer, Romanesco, and he is going to be sharing with us information about what is coming up in 2025 or further along. And it's so nice to have you, Romanesco.
Aloha, Taj and KKCR listeners. I'm liking this. This is feeling very consistent. I've been here a number of times, and each time I come back, it gets even better.
Yeah, it does, especially with all that's happening on the planet.
Oh my gosh. I feel like every week there's a huge new quantum shift happening that I have to adjust to. It's amazing.
Well, will you tell us a little bit about how you got into astrology? I know you've done it every time, but maybe just like a minute or so of what brought you into the Vedic astrology world instead of sidereal astrology.
Totally. So I was working as a celebrity health chef in Malibu, California, working for celebrity drug addicts and alcoholics, and working with yeah, I was one of those, and working with cancer patients, just trying to heal people with food. That was my passion. And my cousin, Ben, I hired him as my sous chef one year, and he loved Vedic astrology, which is the astrology of India, which uses a sidereal zodiac, which is the real sky. And we would cook and talk astrology and cook and talk astrology, and it was always my hobby. And after I gave up cooking, I just started going deeper and deeper and falling more in love with it because there's just so many stories, and I love stories growing up. So I've been doing it for about 20 years, and I've got my own school now, and I'm just very grateful to be an astrologer.
You mean so someone could connect with you and learn about Jyotish astrology?
Exactly.
Since you have, this is a new thing for you, right? The last year or so?
Yes, it's called my Confident Astrologer course, and it's really about doing astrology the old way, which is the art of storytelling, mentor to student, where I call it less chart, more heart. Let's get off the computer, get out of stressing out, and connect with each other and share stories about life and help each other evolve.
Amazing. So just to get this through, if you want to know more about what he's doing, you can go to makelovewithastrology.com.
Yes, I invite you to go there and reach out to me, and I'd love to share with you about my Confident Astrologer course.
Great. Awesome. Okay, so now let's talk about what is coming up, what you're seeing in the stars.
Oh, I'm so excited to share the story of 2025 today. First, I really want to get clear about what the difference is between the sidereal zodiac, which I use in Vedic astrology, and the tropical zodiac, which most people are used to in Western astrology. Just want to spend 1 minute on that.
That's great. Because I made the mistake already of saying sidereal instead of when it's tropical instead of sidereal.
So here we go. So for thousands of years, since the beginning of humans, our ancestors put the stories in the sky. And they did that because wherever they went on Earth, they needed to have their wisdom with them. When you're traveling around, you can't be lugging around stones with charcoal drawings to pass on knowledge to your descendants. So that is called the sidereal zodiac. It's simple. You look at the sky and you hear a story. Astronomers use it. Sailors use it. Every plant and animal on this planet grow according to its rhythms. So that's different than a tropical zodiac, which when we explore the history of it, we learned the roots of it were only about 2,000 years ago. And it was invented by a Greek astronomer called Ptolemy. And Ptolemy basically created this new zodiac, which is now 24 degrees off than our current one. That means whatever we look at in the sky in Western astrology, it's 24 degrees different. So Western astrologers who use a tropical zodiac, they no longer look at the sky. They only look at pieces of paper and computer screens. So for me, I find that curious, and I really find success with having a relationship with the real sky like our ancestors did. And it's wildly accurate, which is why astronomers use it.
Great. So thank you for that. And now let's hear what is coming forth, because I know I actually went to your website and I saw one of your blogs that was about 2023 till May 2025. So we're still in something of what you had said before, but how does that move forward? How do we move forward from that? Maybe you can kind of go over a little bit of what you might have said last year.
I love to do a little recap, and good call. This is exactly what I'm about to start talking about. So in astrology, it is like a Google Maps of our life. It shows us it shows us where we are in love, in career, in wealth and health, but also when we are. When will one cycle, one trip begin and another trip end? So even if there's a traffic jam, it's all gravy, baby, because we know when it is going to end. So one of the most powerful predictive tools in astrology is called the North Node of the Moon.
Right.
Yes. AKA Rahu, AKA the dragon's head, which is the head of the snake eating its tail in the Ouroboros famous symbol. So this is such an amazing planet because I call it the wish-granting genie. Wherever this planet goes, whatever sign it is in for a year and a half, it empowers that sign. It makes that sign the strongest, most powerful story and sign in all of the heavens. If we can think of the 12 signs of the zodiac as 12 ingredients in a recipe works because all of the ingredients harmonize and balance each other out. But this planet, it throws it out of balance. It is like Beatlemania, and this is the most popular, and it kind of gets to do whatever it wants to do for that year and a half. And depending upon our rising sign, which is a sign on the horizon, also known as the ascendant, that shows what house this planet will be in and what wish is guaranteed to come true, which we will manifest, what we will focus on. So we're able to look at what energy will be prevalent around the whole planet. All of our subconsciouses will bring in, and depending upon our rising sign, that'll show specifically in our chart what wish will come true individually.
Okay.
So from November of 2023 until May of 2025, about 3 to 4 months away, this wish-granting genie of manifestation, Rahu, the North Node of the Moon, the dragon's head, was in the zodiac sign of Pisces. And the zodiac sign of Pisces is a story of the monk and the mystic with the magic power of space, to create space, to give up things and surrender and become one with the cosmic ocean of life. In nature, it is related to things like the ocean, like there's only one ocean, to the clouds, there's only one clouds,
Right.
to steam. So this is the mystical, spiritual,
New word.
new word, patent pending, trademark, magical planet. So when we want to look at what is the energy in our life that helps us feel not separate, where things are problems, where there's black and white and duality, and we have to micromanage things, but where everything is one. We are all one with God and love, where the tree, the rock, me, we're all the same. This is the energy of none, of the cosmic womb, the cosmic yoni, where we all come from, the black hole where we all go to.
Right, the void.
The void. So
where everything is, nothing and everything.
Exactly. So what's great about astrology is that nothing is something. That's called Pisces. Pisces represents no thing, nothing. It is space. So what this means is this has been a time when a lot of weather has been kind of out of bounds and doing some pretty wacky stuff.
Absolutely. Everywhere, all over the country, all over the world.
Right? Hasn't clouds been doing some really, really weird stuff? Like, wow, look at the clouds over here making hail and snow where they've never done that before. Look at these hurricanes, these, big clouds. So that type of energy has been considered out of bounds, and the rest of life is going, okay, when is this going to end? Pisces rules things from space, from outer space. So I'm sure we've all been hearing more on social media and the news about things that are coming from the darkness of space, from out of nowhere. UAPs, NHIs, aliens, and all of those wonderful things like that.
Right.
This is a time when consciousness and spirituality and mysticism is not becoming as woo-woo.
Exactly. Exactly.
As much anymore.
Even in the medical field, they're looking at energetic teachings.
Energy, the invisible energies, the ether, all of that, things that make us all one together. So this is like a mystical monk is kind of the president of the world right now, being, okay, everyone, let's be mystical. Pisces also rules the feet, which I don't have a good story or analogy for what's been happening with feet, but this is a really good time to get foot massages and focus on your feet.
Well, interesting, because a long time ago I was told by someone for me about my feet as antennas, that the information that you can get just through your feet, same as your hands, right? There's all kinds of different things, but they can be antennas for people that are sensitive to that. That would be not in wearing shoes.
Exactly. So getting barefoot in the grass and feeling all of those vibrations come in. So incredible magical time, incredible mystical time. And also it's been a little bit of a sad time. It's, from what I understand from the research, it seems like population has been decreasing. A lot of people have been leaving this place and going back to the void. A lot of people have been surrendering and letting go, whether their physical bodies or just maybe quitting their 9-to-5 jobs and trying to find, something that fulfills them more.
Right.
So that is where the North Node is currently at, and it will be ending in May. Would you like to hear where it is going?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Okay, but I have another question, because last year, and this was pretty much from the three of you that I had on, Linda and you and Richard, it was the year where the powers that be were not actually running the show the same way. It was more like about the people.
Yes.
And I remember you saying that even specifically. And does that end in May, or was that a multi-year progression?
What's really interesting is, I'm glad you're bringing this up, because this was the second thing I'll go into. So I'll go a little bit into the second thing, but then come back. It's, in a way, it's ending, but then a new cycle is beginning, because what's been happening is that Saturn has been in Aquarius, which is a sign of the people in the community, for the past 2.5 years. And it's about a transition into Pisces on March 29th. So what I'm thinking of doing is, how about I talk about this right after I talk about...
Certainly.
But thanks for prompting me. You're very psychic right now. You're just... you know what I'm going to say before I say it. So the monk, the mystical monk, has had its time being the president of planet Earth, and we're all getting a little over it. We're going to take its lesson and internalize it. But the North Node is now moving in the end of May into Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, for the next 1.5 years. This is a story of the commoner and the kingdom, with the magic power of culture and the tribe. The food, the drink, the clothes, the silly jokes, the beliefs that make a Democrat, a Hawaiian, a New Ager. It is the rings of Saturn, the Lord of the Rings, that creates the different social circles and limits and groups and tribes that keep us together. This is the energy that keeps a flock of nene, or they're a gaggle of nene geese gaggling and flying together, a school of fish swimming together.
Right.
Right? So these are the beliefs that create all the different subcultures. Like on social media, you've got the breakdancers, you've got the people who love energy healing, you've got all these different astrology groups. It is the circles of Saturn that limit us and say, this is what makes this group.
Is that in a positive way or in a limited way?
In life, there's no good or bad. Garlic is great for pesto pasta, but in chocolate ice cream,
not so much.
It's interesting. If you're a Gemini, you'll love that. But it doesn't really belong to its nature. So in nature, this is the energy of the fixed air. It's the mode of fixed and the element of air, which in nature is the sky. The sky is a firmament that keeps us all on the planet Earth. It is the fixed air of the atmosphere, the ozone layer, the ionosphere, the magnetosphere, all these other weird spheres that we don't even think about that block the solar radiation and keep us together on Earth. It is also considered in esoteric traditions the fixed beliefs that when we die, they kind of keep us in the life, reincarnation cycle instead of liberating ourselves and leaving Earth. So what this means is that this is a time when the power is going to still be with the people, but in a new way. This is a time where those who have vertical power over us, like presidents and CEOs and bosses and those with money, they aren't going to have the power right now. The power is going to be with the community and the tribes. We're not going to be relying upon, those at top to tell us what to do and protect us. We're going to protect each other. We're going to have our horizontal relationships where we're going to rely upon our neighbor to grow our food, our neighbor to help mediate and resolve disputes, our neighbor to help, provide us clean water or energy or healing.
So it's basically taking back your own power and being sovereign together.
I like that, being sovereign together and relying with each other.
So you're listening to KKCR Honolulu, KAQA Kilauea. This is Taj with Transformational Tea, and my guest is Romanesco from Make Love with Astrology, and he's talking about... And now you're back with Taj and Romanesco, and we're talking about 2025 based on Jyotish astrology, Vedic astrology.
Yeah.
All right.
So leaving where we left off, so Aquarius, the sign of the tribe and the community, will be the most powerful. And in nature, as I was mentioning, it rules a firmament, the sky, the atmosphere, the ionosphere, and magnetosphere. So this is a time when that's going to be very, very prevalent in our life. This is a time when interesting different things may be happening with our magnetic field. Different things may be happening with the sky. And this could even be related to things like our family, but our star family. What is interesting in tarot cards, the zodiac, the card that represents the zodiac sign of Aquarius is called the star. The star. So whatever your spirituality or beliefs is, there is a belief that many of us are star seeds. So we are souls that come from other planets, other races, and we've got all these beautiful family out there and waiting for us to get the knowledge and evolve ourselves a little bit so we can rejoin the cosmic family.
Right.
So this is really a time where we may realize that we've got cousins from the Pleiades coming to visit us, or maybe brothers and sisters from other dimensions and things like that. And
this is a big change of consciousness. So to even experience this, you have to expand your consciousness.
Exactly. What's interesting is that in astrology, the fifth sign of the zodiac, Leo, the sign of the sun and the soul and fun and children, is a sign of consciousness, and it is considered opposite Aquarius, like the king opposite to commoners, which is a soul, and consciousness opposite beliefs. So it suggests the more beliefs we have, the more rings that bind us, the more closed our mind, that the Lord of the Rings, Saturn, closes our mind, the harder it is for us to experience consciousness in 5D, 9D, and elevate ourselves to new levels. So this is going to be a time where there's going to be a whole new birth of consciousness. it's consciousness. It's how AI came along the last year and a half, and it was a whole new way of intelligence. It's going to be like that. It's going to be CI, consciousness, conscious intelligence, a brand new thing that will be birthed, and a lot of it will actually might have to do with children, where we might be seeing a bunch of psychic children come in.
Already there are, like I was reading about 60,000 children they found that can read with their fingertips, can read with their feet, read with their armpits. It's so crazy. They're not reading with their eyes. And it's all over the world. They found them in China and Russia and everywhere. So that's just one teeny little piece of what's available. And that's another level of consciousness.
Exactly. So just like we're all getting adjusted to AI, like, oh, look at the things I can do with AI now. We're going to be like, wow, look at the different things I can do with consciousness now.
Right.
I can do almost anything.
Right.
So
that's beautiful. I'm so glad, because we were hearing in the other astrologers how AI is not going to be what you think it is, and it's how you use it. And if you let it run you as opposed to you just empowered by the pieces of it that you need, that is something that you have to work out on your own.
Exactly. In astrology, AI is related to the sixth sign of the zodiac, Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, which is a story of the servant and the scientist. So when we have a relationship with technology and AI, it says that we need to be sovereign and like a king, and we need to delegate.
Right.
We need to allow AI to serve us and thank you, but I'm in charge. I'm the king. You do what I say. I'm delegating, and not have us make it our king.
Right.
Not have us serve it.
I mean, like, there are people that are putting things inside their brains, right, to have somebody else run their intelligence. That's not what you haven't read about that? Oh, yeah. And they are volunteering for these experiments because someone has told them that they're not intelligent enough. And as we all know, that we're beings of the divine and aspects of the divine, there is no limit to us except us.
Yeah, that sounds like someone is letting someone else run their lives.
Absolutely. I think that's partly what a lot of religions are like also.
Yeah, it's too afraid that you need to, there's a lot of beliefs out there that suggest that we are not wise enough and smart enough to have our own relationship with consciousness and God.
Right.
And we need other people to protect us and be the middlemen.
And we don't.
Yeah, like if you skin your spiritual knee, it's okay. You're probably reincarnated and coming back. Like, so that is the main theme, the main story, the main chapter for the next year and a half after May. It's all be about the family, the tribe, the beliefs, our star family. Pay attention to the sky, the atmosphere, the magnetic field, really, things like that. And just allow our community, allow our neighbors to support us. Allow ourselves to feel comforted by certain limits, because sometimes too many opportunities can be too distracting. So to find our safe little inner circle of people we can trust and love and who are loyal to us, and really just fertilize those roots to get some sweet fruits.
And we're doing that for others as well.
Exactly.
Right.
And fertilize them. So that is my first main prediction. It's a long one, but I've got 4 other ones I can get into if you like.
Yes, please.
All right. So as you so psychically talked about earlier, Saturn was actually in Aquarius. Saturn's in charge of Aquarius the past 2.5 years. But now Saturn will be going in Pisces on March 29th. So that's what's interesting, is that for the past year and a half, we've had the North Node in Pisces, empowering Pisces. And then the past 2.5 years had Saturn in Aquarius, empowering Aquarius. And they're kind of like switching partners at the dance club. So Aquarius and Pisces, the tribe and mystical oneness, spirituality, interdimensional magicalness, those are still going to be huge themes for the next while. But Saturn will be in Pisces for the next 2.5 years. And this is where we're going to notice a lot more physical reality and groundedness and culture around Pisces magical stuff coming in. So let me explain. Saturn rules 2 signs. The masculine version of Saturn is Capricorn, which is a story of the noble person climbing the social ladder higher. It is a magic power of responsibility and risk management and working hard. It is representative of a mountain, where a mountain takes a long time to build, but once it's built, it endures for millions of years, because you can divert a river, you can burn down a forest, but you can't move a mountain.
Right.
It's there. So it rules career and industry and building, all those mountains of glass and concrete in the city. Those are Capricorn. And then Saturn also rules the feminine version of Saturn, which is Aquarius, which we already talked about. So you've got this hard working, let's make money, let's build business and create firm roots, Capricorn. And then you got, let's bring it to the people, then bring humanity in Pisces. We're about to start seeing a lot new careers and a lot new businesses around the psychic, magical, consciousness, Pisces energy.
In a positive way?
In a way that we're going to be going on LinkedIn, searching for jobs, and there's going to be public job postings from the government and from private corporations looking to hire astral projectors and energy healers and meditators we're trying to communicate with these extraterrestrials, or we're trying to remote view this thing, or we're doing a research study on consciousness. There's about to be more industry around these things with that Capricorn energy.
Wow, that's very interesting. I mean, you can see the change already since COVID about regular businesses, how there's not enough employees for restaurants or service industry businesses. And that means that people are leaving those and looking for something else. So, I mean, for us in a tourist destination, we need restaurants. We need these things for people, even for ourselves. But obviously, it sounds like it's going to be more internalized. I mean, and COVID did that anyway, right? We all started having dinner together, at each other's homes and instead of going out. So it sounds like it's a lot of inward changes.
Exactly. Especially with all the AI coming out, people are finding that they're not being satisfied by serving others as much. And I don't mean like in charity or doing spiritual things from the heart.
Right.
But customer service, working at restaurants, making other people happy before we make ourselves happy. And during COVID, and that's where online learning came, where people were paid to stay home. So people have spent a lot of time, energy, and money learning astrology, learning astral projection, learning remote viewing, learning meditation and consciousness. Mm-hmm. So but it's been like a hobby. So people, of course, have been able to get paid money to do one-on-one sessions and teach classes related to that stuff. But if we look at as far as, is a multi-billion-dollar, company hiring those people to help their business grow or do something? Not really. But that's all about to change, where consciousness and spirituality is going to become integrated into business and careers and success. So the billion-dollar CEO, they're going to have to be meditating.
Interesting.
They're going to have to be conscious.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be, maybe, like I heard Google has these amazing campuses where they feed them and do all this stuff. So employers are going to start be encouraging their employees to meditate more or astral project more, things like that. We're just going to notice a real, for example, there's a lot of disclosures coming out from UFOs, UAPs right now. And
what's a UAP?
It is unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is basically the military's nice version of UFO.
Okay.
And I'm not an expert of this, but as watching this happen, the U.S. military and other governments and even private aerospace contractors literally hire people for their psionics teams, where if you're a good remote viewer or astral projector or meditator, they can hire you to help them contact UFOs and communicate with. I mean, I've had a friend who's done it for 20 years for the U.S. government. It's actual job description. So that's what I mean.
Okay. All right.
And just to wrap it up, and again, this is going to become a lot more part of our culture, where we're not going to be the black sheep woo-woo person in our family for, trying to talk with aliens and astral project and stuff. So that's Saturn and Pisces. I got 3 more. Any questions on that, Taj?
No, good.
So what's great about astrology is that, as I mentioned before, it's a Google Maps of our lives. So there's a very important conjunction happening. And these conjunctions are like events. They're like seasons. They're like fruits that will be harvested. And we can see what's going to happen. So on April 20th, the north node of the moon, the wish-granting genie, and Saturn, which is the planet of Capricorn, career and business, and community and tribe Aquarius, will be conjuncting in Pisces on April 20th. So this is powerful. Conjuncting is a first aspect which is related to, it's like a battle. It is like there's a jiu-jitsu match, and both of these planets are going to fully express their power to each other and empower each other and make each other stronger. It's not like fighting or battling in a bad way, but iron sharpens iron. We don't get physically stronger by laying in bed eating ice cream. We get it by working out and wrestling and things like that. So there could be extremely potent and significant, life-changing type of event that could be happening around April 20th in all of our lives. And again, it could be related to consciousness, spirituality, society, potential aliens type of thing. It says that there's going to be a very powerful something from the void will be brought into our consciousness.
Okay.
We will be aware of it,
Great.
whatever that is. So put that in your iPhone reminder, everyone. April 20th. 2 more quick predictions. How much time do I have?
We have it.
So next, we'll be having Jupiter transiting in Gemini May 15th. So Jupiter rules the masculine version of itself, which is Sagittarius, which is a story of the alchemist, the wanderer, and the wizard. It is a storyteller, and it has the magic power of alchemy, of evolution, to turn lead into gold, knowledge, ignorance into knowledge. It is a Pokemon energy that takes your low vibe, angry Pokemon and evolves it into its highest self. Its feminine version is, again, Pisces, which is the mystic monk of oneness in the void, which we know about. So Jupiter will be going into Gemini on May 15th. Gemini is a story of the merchant, the messenger, and the thief with the magic power of distraction, being able to steal our attention with silly cat videos on TikTok, clever words. It is fox and coyote energy, the ability to trick others and use our mind to get what we want. So there's about to be a huge expansion in the communication industry in how we communicate. This could even be with things, as we were mentioning before, people reading with their feet, reading with their hands, learning more about telepathy and things like that. This is going to be a time when skills, because Gemini rules skills and tricks and techniques that we learn, a huge expansion of people beginning to learn many, many new things. There will be a lot more Renaissance men and women, Jack and Jane of all trades. A huge passion and thirst to learn more about different spiritual techniques. All over social media, everyone's going to be talking about spirituality as a part of our normal day-to-day life, and all the new techniques and there's going to be so many distracting spiritual things out there. It's going to get just like, this is my technique.
Right. There'll be a lot of discernment needed.
Exactly. Gemini is the energy of the liar and the thief, which it teaches us how to play chess and not just play checkers. That is a gift it gives us by trying to trick us. It makes us smarter and cleverer. Right. So many people will be trying to trick us at this time, but that can be a good thing if we have discernment. And lastly, got some really good news, everybody. So Venus, from March 2nd until May 24th, is going to be exalted in Pisces. And this is a very interesting story. So Venus is the sign of Taurus, which is a story of the pleasurer and the treasurer, the magic power of fertility, of pleasure, whose nature is the flat, fertile farmlands where we grow food, the drink. It is the food, the touches, the sounds, the music, the art that makes life beautiful. It also rules Libra, its masculine form, which is the magic power of harmony and partnership, whose nature is the diplomat and the dandy. So what's interesting is that beauty and pleasure and relationships and harmony and frequency is exalted in Pisces. It says that in all of life, there's no better place for pleasure and beauty and harmony to be than the cosmic oneness. They say the universe, Pisces, actually runs on frequency, Venus. So this is a time when we are all going to be in love. We are all going to be expressing ourselves through art, through music, through food, through hugs and kisses. And this is a time there is going to be a real love and around spirituality and oneness. It does begin going retrograde on April 12th, though, which means that this is a time, retrograde means it's not 2 steps forward, it's 1 step back. Mm-hmm. So it means that it's time to, before I move forward with that new pleasure, with that new person, with that new art project, with that new desire, that new relationship, we're going to have to go back a little bit and reassess things. A Venus retrograde is pretty rare. It only happens once every 18 months. But again, it's happening in Pisces where it's very comfortable. So this should be like the music that's going to come out around this time. It's going to be celestial orchestra, binaural beats, magical music.
Beautiful.
And that's going to be happening very shortly. So hope you guys...
When is that again? March?
Well, Venus is in Pisces right now until May 24th.
Okay.
And the retrograde starts on March 2nd through April 12th. So I recommend in your iPhone or on your watch, set a reminder, Venus going retrograde on March 2nd, and then getting ready, because when your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend comes back into town and they start hitting you up on the phone, that's where we use discernment and go, do I really want to go back and do this whole thing? Maybe, maybe not. Because in a month, Venus will go forward again, and then you'll be leaving that all behind.
Okay. So we only have a minute left, but if you could give us something really that you pull out of this for us to really bite into right now before you go, what would that be?
I would, if I could give it in 2 words, I would say cosmic family.
That is so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, for me lately, I can feel very lonely. I can feel like I maybe don't belong here in many ways. But when I realize that there could be life on other planets, when I could have all these other people who love me and care about me, all these other souls, all these other dimensions, all these other energies, and that I'm never alone, I'm one with all of that, that really gives me hope every day and just helps me have fun.
Right. Well, and that's, for me, that's the bottom line, is that we're here to remember our oneness with everyone. And if we can see that in each other, then you are never alone.
Thank you, Taj. That's what I've been practicing lately. It's normally when I meet people, I can be like, okay, I default to, what can I get from this person? Oh, this person's annoying me. I don't want to interact with them. But if I can see the soul in them and the oneness and be like, wow, I'm the same as this person, I get excited now.
Right. And when you have no needs with each of these people, which we don't have any needs, we make that be a thing, then it really is remembering the oneness. It isn't a separation, a duality.
Because source gives me all I need.
Yeah.
I don't need to try to scam it from that other person.
Right, exactly.
Ugh.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I think we might have to have you on in 6 months just to see what's going on, because there's a lot happening this year.
Taj, I promise it's going to be exponential. So 6 months is going to feel like 6 years, and I would be honored to be back with you and KKCR listeners.
That would be so great. So if you want to know more about Romanesco, or you want to see about getting involved with his classes or his teaching, you can go to makelovewithastrology.com and email him, learn more about him, and we'll have him on again in 6 months. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom.
Mahalo, Taj. Mahalo, KKCR listeners.
All right. And I will be back at the end of the month. And you have another beautiful Sunday. Thank you for joining me and listening to KKCR. Aloha.